10 days. That's all Trump gave Putin. The countdown is on. And the stakes? Nuclear. What if the next world war doesn't begin with a missile, but with a deadline? Because right now, Donald Trump has drawn a red line for Vladimir Putin, and the clock is ticking. In a move that stunned both allies and rivals, President Trump just issued a blunt ultimatum to Russia: end the war in Ukraine within 10 to 12 days, or face a global economic chokehold. Trump has threatened to reinstate full sanctions on Russian energy exports, cutting off billions in oil and gas revenue. He also hinted at diplomatic isolation, trade penalties, and even new military movements in Europe. 10 days, not 50. No negotiations, just pressure. Oil markets immediately spiked. Energy analysts are now warning of global volatility, and leaders in Moscow? Scrambling. So why now? Trump's inner circle says this is about what he calls strategic compression. Translation? Give Putin no time to maneuver, force a snap decision. It's a bold strategy rooted in Trump's classic playbook: squeeze hard, threaten big, and act fast. Some believe he's angling to prove what Biden couldn't: peace through power. But others say it's reckless brinksmanship that could backfire hard. Let's be clear, the war in Ukraine has already killed hundreds of thousands. But what happens when nuclear powers are backed into a corner? Even NATO allies are divided. Some say this kind of timeline could spark panic in the Kremlin, the kind that leads to rash decisions, and that's the real danger here. Not just escalation, but miscalculation. So far, Putin's official response has been silence. But Russian state media has already begun spinning the narrative, blaming Trump for destabilizing global energy and warning of consequences. Chinese state outlets have echoed this too, saying Trump's ultimatum risks unraveling diplomatic efforts between Russia and the West. Meanwhile, the European Union is split. Germany and France are urging calm, while Poland and the Baltics are backing Trump's hardline stance. And as pressure builds, Ukraine's Zelensky is watching closely, reportedly pushing for even more direct US involvement before the window closes. So let's ask the question nobody wants to answer. What happens when the deadline hits, and Putin does nothing? Sources close to Trump say he's prepared to push for full-spectrum energy sanctions, including third-party buyers like India and China, a formal freeze on Russian assets and global banks, escalated US troop presence in Eastern Europe. Even talk of pre-authorized strike plans has surfaced, though it's unclear how real that is. Bottom line, Trump isn't bluffing, and Putin knows it, which leads us to the real danger: retaliation. Russia has already threatened to reassess its nuclear posture in response to increased US aggression. So the real question isn't will Trump act, it's can Putin afford not to? The markets are already reacting like the war just expanded. Oil is up nearly 3% overnight. European gas futures spiked. Defense stocks jumped. Even the ruble took a dive. Global investors are jittery, and countries like India, Brazil, and even Turkey are beginning to recalculate their alliances. This isn't just saber rattling, it's reshaping the chessboard. Trump's deadline could force neutral powers to pick sides fast. And that means this isn't just a US versus Russia moment, it's potentially the beginning of a new Cold War, or worse. So here we are. The countdown has begun. Trump has placed the weight of global peace or global disaster on a 10-day clock, and Putin's next move could decide everything. Some call it bold leadership, others call it dangerous theater. But one thing's clear: in this new world order, deadlines are just as deadly as bombs. And if Trump's gamble fails, we might not get a second chance to pull back from the edge. So what do you think? Is this the move that finally ends the war in Ukraine? Or is it the spark that starts something far bigger? Let us know in the comments. Was Trump right to give Putin a deadline, or did he just light the fuse on World War III? Subscribe for more deep dives, declassified breakdowns, and global turning points, only inside Room 45. Because what they're not telling you might just be the most important part of the story.